Good morning, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Thursday, August 18th, around 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2022. Here is the rainfall potential for the Four Corners region Thursday through Sunday. Local weather storm max of 8 inches in the Tucson area possible. Take a look at that. We should be expecting some heavy flash flooding events, especially in burn scar areas through the weekend, especially in southern Arizona. So heads up. But the big story, geomagnetic storm continues. For the last 6 hours, we've been at KP5, and buckle your seatbelts. More is coming. Keep calm. It's boom time. Here's the 3-day geomagnetic and aurora forecast. Has not been updated with the new coronal mass ejection data. And there, in fact, is a new CME on the way, care of 2 back-to-back M flares that just fired off the sun. Those should be arriving late on the 19th. Now, bad news if the telemetry stays high. And what I mean by that is the plasma speed is now up in 550 to 600 kilometers per second range, which has driven that KP5 geomagnetic storm. It doesn't look like it's dropping off anytime soon. So if this elevated space weather continues as this CME, there's the double M flare. And you can see a halo component here blasting all around. Well, that means some of that is coming to Earth, and that's care of these 2 M flares. And it has been modeled. So here is the model coming from NASA. Pretty significant looking coronal mass ejection coming directly to hit Earth. But here it is modeled on the WSA Enlil, and it's looking more of a glancing blow here. But we do have an event that begins late on the 19th into the 20th. So there it is. More space weather on the way, as we still have more pulses potentially coming from previous events. So we're not out of the woods. We are in KP5. We have been for 6 hours. We'll leave you links below to all of these so you can follow along, because if you watched yesterday's podcast on human health and space weather, it may be helpful for you. So there's more space weather coming over the next 2 days. All is not quiet on the Western Front. We could see some more perturbations. Haven't seen any perturbations to power or communications yet. But if this gets driven higher up into KP6 or 7 again, well, we could see some changes. So stay tuned for more news. Now, the Farmer's Almanac predicts a particularly cold and wet January for the South. Heads up, another La Nina winter. There it is, forecast calling for La Nina winter after a hot, dry summer in the Northwest. So it goes from deluge to drought and back to deluge again. This could be the trifecta for La Nina. Now, we've seen one of the most active monsoon seasons in over a decade, bringing rain and dust, and now to the Valley of Arizona. So there is that forecast that we showed you right here on rainfall potential. In Phoenix, Las Vegas facing flooding storms from the surging monsoon. There it is. There's the flood risk through Sunday. Downpours, flash floods, mudslides, intense lightning, and more. Shut up, Al! Haven't done that in a while. Get in your hole. All right. So there's the flood risk through Sunday. Downpours, flash flooding, mudslides, intense lightning, and travel disruptions for the entire Four Corners region. We're right here on the border. So heads up Albuquerque, El Paso, Phoenix. Las Vegas is outside the range, but it's not outside the range of possibility. Bryce Canyon could see some deadly flash flooding. So before you go into those canyons, check the weather, please. Now, excessive heat continues for the Pacific Northwest. Flooding impacts expected in the Southwest, and we've been harping on that for quite some time. A dangerous heat wave persists for the Northwest and portions of California today, and with the KP up high, that's going to accentuate the Earth energy and those heat patterns. So it might be just a degree warmer thanks to space weather. And with these excessive heat warnings and heat advisories, please take heed and stay inside. Don't do anything strenuous outside. Be smart. The active monsoon pattern with organized showers and thunderstorms and possible flash flooding with debris flows continues all the way through Sunday and will become enhanced in the southwestern U.S. through Saturday. And Already flood watches and warnings up in Arizona, almost the entire state of Arizona, the entire state of New Mexico just about, and the southern portions that just flooded in Utah. So the greening of the desert occurring right before your very lives. Now the Rhine River levels plumb new depths. In fact, more drought in Europe, but there's good news. There's rain in the forecast, and it is looking as if, hey, if you didn't know where the Rhine River is, it comes out of the Alps here, right where they're expected to get about 2 feet of rain, and goes right here on the border of Germany and France, and then to the north here through Germany. So all of this rain is going to go into the Rhine River and really make a difference. And that's over the next 10 days. So good news there. Germany getting some much needed rain, albeit there'll be flooding, flash flooding, and other terrible things coming from rain after your drought. In a drought, it's very hard for that water to get into the ground initially. So here we are, seismic update. Really no quakes of note. Most recent rumbler 5.0 in the Loyalty Islands at 129 kilometers, but no major quakes and a huge deficit for 7 magnitude or greater. So that it will be coming sooner than you think. Worldwide volcano news update. Nothing spectacular happening on the volcano front either. And the eruption in Iceland, well, is looking very moderate, very calm, and very clear. So nice little splashes of lava there coming from the new spatter cone at the Reykjanes Peninsula in Iceland. All links will be below. Now, never shower during a thunderstorm. I repeat, never shower during a thunderstorm. A physicist explains why. Well, you'll be electrocuted potentially. So, while your chance of getting struck by lightning is low, it's important to know how to stay safe during a thunderstorm. Globally, about 24,000 people each year are killed by lightning. We just had an event here in Washington, D.C., where several people were killed, but some survived. Now, most people are familiar with basic thunderstorm safety, such as avoiding standing under trees, which is what the people did in D.C. They ran under a tree during a thunderstorm. Bad idea. But you should also avoid taking a shower or a bath, or even washing dishes during a thunderstorm. Did you know that? Now, to understand why, you first need to know a little bit about how thunderstorms and lightning works. 2 basic elements cause a thunderstorm to thrive: moisture and rising warm air, which of course go hand in hand with summertime. The high temperatures and humidity create large amounts of moist air that rises into the atmosphere, where it can form into a thunderstorm. Now, clouds contain millions of water and ice droplets, and the interaction of these is what leads to lightning generation. So, a little quick lesson there, but why shouldn't we wash dishes? Well, the path of lightning and of the discharge is usually one of least resistance. So things that are more conductive, like metal, are more likely to be struck during a storm. And unless you're sitting in a bath outside or showering in the rain, you're incredibly unlikely to be struck by lightning. But if lightning strikes your house, the electricity would follow the path of least resistance to the ground. And things such as metal wires or water in your pipes provide a convenient conductive path for electricity to follow to the ground. So if you're in the tub and that electricity is coming through the pipes, hello, it will be boom time. So be better safe than sorry, and never shower, wash the dishes, or drink with your mouth from the hose during a thunderstorm. Now, ants can be better than pesticides. Can you believe it? And this is for growing healthy crops, according to a new study. Harnessing natural insect power can, with proper management, have higher efficacy than resorting to harmful chemicals. And here we see what appears to be a soldier ant, but in fact is a tropical ectotoma ant, one of the world's 14,000 species of ant, many of which can do the job of chemicals by killing pests that harm crops. So, is the future ants? Well, we'll see. Cute little buggers. Now, the U.S. Air Force is stocking up on stealth jets in Alaska, of all places, and its pilots are learning to thrive in the harsh Arctic conditions. This is a little antithetical to a planet that is suffering from burning up. And, well, more of that bizarre military stuff going on, where we're getting more icebreakers and now we're training in Arctic conditions with stealth jets. Is World War III upon us? It's anybody's guess. But certainly we're living in a dystopian world where armed federal agents recently raided Amos Miller's successful organic meat and dairy farm in the old Amish village of Burdenham, PA, near my boyhood home and where I grew up. And the feds are demanding he stop farming organically the way nature intended and are economically crippling him with $300,000 worth of fines.
I'm Jeremy Lafredo for Rebel News in Burdenham, Pennsylvania. It's here, in this old Amish community where armed federal agents recently raided Miller's organic meat and dairy farm. The government is arguing that the farm isn't adhering to federal regulatory requirements concerning food, while the farm argues that this is just the latest attack on independent farmers giving their communities healthy food.
The Miller Organic Farm in Burdenham, Pennsylvania, a remote Amish village, has been around for almost 30 years. The farm supplies everything from grass-fed beef and cheese to raw milk and organic eggs, to dairy from grass-fed on-site water buffalo, and all types of produce to roughly 4,000 private food club members who pay top dollar for high-quality whole food. The private food club members cherish their ability to get food from an independent farmer who isn't processing his meat and dairy at United States Department of Agriculture facilities, which mandates food be prepared in ways that Miller believes make it less nutritious. Miller contends that he's preparing food the way God intended. The U.S. government doesn't see it that way. They recently sent armed federal agents to the farm and demanded he cease operations. The government is also looking for more than $300,000 in fines, a request so steep it would put the farm out of business. This is an attack on Amish religious freedoms just 150 miles outside of Washington, D.C. It also speaks to the gross corruption at the USDA. As is available on the USDA's site, the agency is funded mostly by the federal government, but it also receives hundreds of millions of dollars from the agricultural industry. Companies like Bayer, Syngenta, and Cargill stand to lose millions, even billions of dollars worth of market share if more American farmers opted for holistic farming practices like Miller's farm instead of chemical-heavy, technology-heavy, industry-friendly practices. Making it even more independent, Miller's farm doesn't use any gasoline or fertilizer, and therefore the war between Ukraine and Russia isn't affecting his bottom line. He's not dependent, and he's providing healthy food to his community the way he believes God intended, and the government is trying to intimidate and shut it down.
Rebel News will be here in Amish country at the end of the week when...
This is literally the way you're supposed to farm. I mean, it is insane. And they are crippling him and shutting him down because, well, he doesn't need them. And he's a threat to the powers that be. I hope that all farmers learn a lesson from this and maybe just start doing a little Amish farming. Look at him. He's like fertilizing with horses. That's just amazing. So check out Rebel News. They're a great source of actual information coming from Canada, if you haven't heard of them, and all links will be below. Also, check out our latest video I just put up on Rumble. Our Rumble channel is fun. It has lots of material that we can't put up on YouTube. And be a warrior. That's what we need to do is the most recent video. It's just 2 minutes, so check it out. Link below. Be safe. We love you, and that's a boom to knowledge. Proper prior planning prevents piss-poor performance. In a dystopian world, you tune in to the Oppenheimer Ranch Project for just a brief moment of clarity. Thanks to all our one-time donors, our Patreons, and the heroes that share this video. We love you. Be safe.